drops and lariats from the top rope. You can't cope. The effing wrestling podcast in the house. Now that's dope. Starcade and SummerSlam all rolled into one. Drop kick, sleeper holes, 1, 2, 3, done. Whole mics like Mean Gene or Gordon Soley. I'm Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with that Crockett trophy. So listen closely as we approach the final hour in an instant. Hands raised, crowds phase without the time limit. Effing wrestling podcast with that ultimate finish. Suplex, now you end it. Yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the show. Let's go.
Everybody, there he is, Mr. Al Ruddick. Thank you for taking the time out to talk with us a little bit, man.
Sorry about the black eyes.
Yeah, that's all good.
It's all part of the act, man. It's all part of it. Your costumes, dude, those were outstanding. And I've been watching your YouTube channel and checking out all of them. And your ultimate collage as you go through them. It's your attention to detail, sir, is spot on.
It's incredible, man.
Like your Macho Man and the cadence for the voice and the movements. It's
yeah.
I just lost you guys somewhere. Hang on, sorry. There we are.
Oh, it's all good.
Terrible with computers, fellas.
It's all good.
Thanks, man. You know what?
Yeah.
That's stuff like this makes the detail in it.
Yeah.
The tape on the fingers of Macho Man. You probably didn't see it with Mankind, but you noticed it with Macho Man. Stuff like that. Yeah. That does make the difference in every little thing that you do. Like,
yeah,
everybody can look and act, but if you pay attention to the fine little tiny details, that's what makes things usually over the top.
Right. That's what makes it all make sense. That makes it connect all the dots and everything just makes sense. You know, it just adds more credibility to it.
That's what catches my eye, the small detail, not the big blah of it, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, you know, and that's one of the things I really like about wrestling is the theatrics and the characters. I'm a comic book reader, I'm a movie lover. I like theater arts and things like that. And that's the better the character and the more defined who they are and the look and the cadence of their voice. It just makes them more memorable and able to just want to pop and relate to.
Well, that's what makes them relatable to you. The very first person that I could ever relate to in wrestling, very first, it sounds crazy, but it was Mankind, because when he came out with that promo with Jim Ross, that sounded just like me.
Wow.
Every bit of it, I was like, wow. And that just went boom. I was like, wow, that is unreal.
Yeah, it was
just a favorite from that. When he first came in beating up the Undertaker, I was mad, just like the rest of them. But after I found out his character, I was like, Undertaker, what?
Yeah,
at the time.
That was me getting into wrestling. Was that big plot arc when I started watching it on a weekly basis? Was Mankind coming in to fight the Undertaker in the Buried Alive matches and Paul Bearer turning on him? So I remember that promo and that entire build-up, and I remember that same feeling, dude, because Mankind was just one of those great characters, you know, someone who just loved the industry.
Well, you picked the right time to watch it or start watching it, man. For real, that was a great time to start watching it, because when I started doing good theatrics and stuff, before in the 80s, people liked it, but it was mainly just wrestling and promos, which was good for us back then. It was a sign of the times that they were moving along. Instead of when it first started, it was just wrestling and very little promos.
Right.
Then they do the promos, which makes you get more interested in it. Okay, why are it's not just, okay, these guys are fighting. Now it's, why are they fighting?
Why are they fighting?
Exactly.
Okay, I got you. Now I understand why you're fighting. And whether it's a good guy or bad guy, there's always somebody that's going to relate to them people.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. It's all about good and evil, good versus evil, good versus bad.
So
either way it goes.
How long have you been a wrestling fan?
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah.
I can't really remember, but the first thing I do remember is I want to say I was 4 or 5 years old, maybe 6, 7. And I was living down the Annapolis Valley, and I can't remember, somebody took me to a match, and the Cuban Assassin was coming out, and this was a fan. I don't care who says what about people planting. They didn't do stuff like this, or they probably didn't think of stuff like this back then. This was like the 70s and 80s. Cuban Assassin come out, and dude threw a hot chocolate on him. like a real hot shot. And he chased him around that building, and that guy ran out of the building. Gone. Shit. He was gone. If he had caught him, I really believe that was real. Because like you can't fake a hot chocolate being thrown out. You can tell the difference.
Yeah.
And I just looking, if it was planned, he done very well. But I really don't believe it was, because that was just because back then people got really, really mad at people.
It was real back then for sure. Shit was real. You couldn't tell. Hey, you bring up that fake word to a wrestling fan, you better be ready to fight back then.
Still does to me too.
100%. It bothers the shit out of me. 100%. So that's where your wrestling fandom came from. It started back then, and then it just grew. Yeah. Yep. So when you were a kid, were you a collector of other things as a kid? Were you a rock collector, a comic book collector, or anything like that? Or did you just start collecting when you started collecting wrestling stuff?
My collecting was collecting jail time and collecting a criminal record. That's what my childhood basically collected of.
Gotcha.
That's kind of why I moved along, give stuff away now, because I used to steal all the time. I used to be a thief. My parents never had much, so they couldn't give us much. We had what we needed, had stuff at Christmas and stuff like that. A lot of it was yard sale stuff, but they gave us whatever they could, right?
Right.
So I didn't really want to ask my parents for anything when I grew up, so I just went out and started stealing, right? So there was nothing to do in the small town. So then when I moved, I didn't mind the toy wrestlers and stuff back then, but I never really played with anything. My mind was too busy elsewhere or other things.
Right.
Too much stuff.
Gotcha. I understand.
So I just went off on my own, didn't listen to anybody, didn't care when anybody said nothing. Then I finally moved up here is when I started collecting.
Okay.
Actually, probably about, I want to say 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I mounted all this in 10 years.
10 years.
That's impressive, man. So, we talked a little bit yesterday or briefly about, the story of you starting to collect. Tell us that story again. Tell the people the story.
Like the first belt you got was the, what was the first belt? It was the John Cena spinner?
The spinner.
That is quite a belt collection, sir. That is amazing.
Look at that. How many belts in all do you have?
Right now, I think I'm down to 59 or something. Thankfully, 59 or 60.
How many did you have at the most?
I want to say 110 or so. Something like
that.
Wow. Well, actually, if you want to say belts and all together, I probably got about 500-600. I got a whole bunch of little toy belts. I never gave them away. I gave the little figure belts and stuff like that. All them Mattel junk things.
Right.
Yeah, but the replicas, probably about 60 or so.
Gotcha.
I'm still disintegrating on them. It's too much. It's too much to carry around, and there's collectors out there that will enjoy these more than I do.
Absolutely.
Because I had enough of the collecting. It's work now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of keep anything that's related to my costumes or like maybe loose figures that I want, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what got you into the costuming aspect of it? I mean, when did that start?
That was Comic-Cons. I didn't know. Sorry, no, back to the other ones. It kind of relates into the same, the Niagara Falls one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I got off track of there. The first time I started collecting, I think I've told this to a few people. First time I started collecting, I was from a small town in Nova Scotia, and I had no clue you could do anything, anywhere, at any point in time. I literally thought every show, every TV series, every movie on TV was Hollywood, literally Hollywood.
Yeah.
So when I moved up here, I didn't know you could do anything. So I just figured same old thing. Let's go drinking, smoke some weed, and go to karaoke all the time.
Right.
That's basically what I done. And then I got with the girl I'm with now, Terry. And she looked at me the one day and she just out of the blue, she was like, "You want to go to Niagara Falls?" And I looked at her and I was dead serious, but I was 100% serious. I looked at her and I said, "What in the do I want to go and stare at water falling over a cliff for?" She was like, "You've never been to Niagara Falls before. Get your boots on. Let's go."
Right.
So we're driving down there, and I'm looking around, and I'm seeing all these buildings, all this thing, and okay, it's not just water falling over a cliff, I guess.
Right.
So I seen WWE Shop Niagara, went in there, an expensive old place, but I seen John Cena spinner belt on the wall. So I was like, "Can I see that?" So guy ended up showing me it, and to me it was just like the real thing, right? These replicas basically the same thing to me, and that spinner belt's pretty heavy when you get your hands on it.
I imagine.
Is it? I bet
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is. It's one of the heavier ones.
Okay.
So I was working paycheck to paycheck and blowing all my money on booze and weed and karaoke. So I asked her, I didn't know what she done. I was like, "You got $730 I can borrow till next week?" Or 2 weeks.
And then,
She was
how
like,
long have y'all been dating at this point?
A month. A month. For real, a month. 30 days, buddy, if that.
Hell yeah.
So it was like, here you go. You can tell people's demeanor, right? If they're just trying.
Definitely.
Most people can tell if you're trying to skate. You can tell through me. I ain't gonna lie to anybody. It's like, yep,
Right.
there's 730. So she checked. It was like, here, buddy, I took that thing everywhere. Then somebody told me about a site that I don't like mentioning their name because they got me too.
Okay.
So I
No
started.
need to mention it. Sons of
Yeah,
bitches.
I'm not going to. That's a specific reason. I'll tell you why though.
All right.
So I started looking on there. Girl at work when I took it away, she said, "How much is that?" I said, $730. She said, "Why didn't you check this site?" So I checked the site, and I found one for, I think it was $250. I think it was the Intercontinental for $250. So I bought that, and I was like, okay, there's got to be more on here. So I kept looking, and then I found 3 for $500 or $600 he wanted. So I beat him down to $500. Went and got the 3. One was the Intercontinental belt.
Nice.
So I sold that for like, I think it was, I was asking 300 or 250 or something, whatever it was. I got it out of it to 300 or 250, and I was like,
done deal. Let's go.
I'm gonna make some money off of these things. But I was putting ads out for I'll buy your belts. People were contacting me, $50, $100 a belt. The one time I sent her to the States all the way to Kentucky for 31 for 2,200 American.
Wow.
Buddy, that was a gift.
Hell
I brought them
yeah.
back here. It wasn't even, I don't even think it was a week that I had my money back. Gave her and her brother $500 or something for going down there.
Right.
And I kept 19 of them.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Or sorry, I kept 13 of them. Sold 19 to get my money back, something like that. It was something towards that line anyway.
Yeah.
It all works out.
Then I started looking into figures. I was like, hey, I had them LJNs when I was a kid, and same thing. But the problem was I wasn't greedy. I'd buy it for $100. I'd sell it for 150 or $200. I didn't care what it was. Didn't care how much it was worth. I just flip, give me my money back. Flip, give me my money back.
Yeah.
That's why I accumulated so much in a couple of years.
Hmm.
Well, I want to say my entire the pinnacle, it was probably 7-8 years. I got it all roughly.
Wow.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's quite just like to be able to find, build, and just hold on to, and know how to like figure out how to work that type of market.
It was easy when my parents done it all their lives, and they're still doing it. They used to go to yard sales. That's where we had a lot of our clothes, a lot of stuff like that. But I learned very quickly if you know about something, you can make some money off of it.
Absolutely.
It's unlike the scalpers nowadays. They just getting greedy.
Yeah, of course.
Problem.
And you watch them, you see they still got walls and walls of figures left.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I don't.
They'll show.
How come? Well, you guys are greedy. I'm not.
Right. So what all do you collect within the wrestling? Is it belts, figures, like what all is it? What all does your What all did your collection combine to?
Anything I didn't have.
Yeah.
I didn't care what it was. Everything. I clip out newspaper clippings. I did not care how stupid, how such a shoelace. I didn't care what it was. If I didn't have it, I wanted it.
Did you have a particular federation you follow more? Was it like WCW like more? WWE?
WWE, WWF. I never really watched the wrestling. I watched the wars back then, but other than that, I still stuck with WWE mainly.
Yeah.
It's all I could get in Nova Scotia, right?
Right. Yeah, I was about to say like
SmackDown.
WCW and stuff didn't come up. They didn't go up above the
Yeah,
border.
they mainly say
Nope, you
And
couldn't
that's
get
what
nothing there.
is different. So I'm from where I was from. WCW used to come through there all the time and everything. So I was more of a WCW fan than a WWF fan.
And where I live right now, bud, a lot of the Saturday night's main events were taped right here in Brantford, Ontario, man.
Yeah, cool.
Hell yeah.
Buddy, I'm going to tell you, if I had been here as a kid, I guarantee I'd be a pro wrestler right now, or I'd be rich from all of their stuff that they'd be out there signing and giving away and stuff back then.
Yeah.
Right. So through all with all your, sorry, go ahead.
Since I'm getting out of collecting, just give everybody a little hint on what's going to be worth stuff. I'm sure a lot of them know better, but for those of you that do not, if you look nowadays, you've got this guy, that guy, these guys, those guys, and every one of them other guys out there signing 100,000 photos every day. Hogan, Undertaker, all them guys. You know what them are going to be worth?
Zero.
You know what's going to be worth something? You folks get out there, every one of yous, and support your local indie wrestling. Because that's where all of these fellas come from. And if you can get signatures from these indie guys on their merchandise from the indies, that is the only thing that's going to be worth something if they become famous.
Wow. Yeah.
Just so you know, that's a little thing. That's my own opinion.
Right.
But
it makes sense though.
It sure does, buddy.
It's just like any pro athlete, their rookie card is worth more than their 10th season card.
Yeah.
You know, that just makes sense. That's just how it works.
And it works for anything like that, like bands, anything, just like reaching. You said sports team, so that works. That beats me to it. But just trying to like meeting something that's starting level of at the ground level as it moves up, instead of just coming in going, oh hey, I've always been a fan. Sure, you've always been a fan.
Yeah. Well, you've been remember this one when there was 12 people in the audience?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't there for that.
Right. I was, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things, man. Starting this channel, we've gotten we got feedback into indie wrestling. I was both really into indie wrestling a lot more and just following that.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
A world of cool. So I just asked, man. So you said, you got the belt, you got the spinner belt, and that led you to starting to doing the characters. So was John Cena the first character you did since you had the spinner belt first, or what was the transition from like, hey man, I have this really cool belt, I'm turning them, I'm finding them, I'm making a business, I'm building my collection, I'm making a profit, I want to have some fun and become a wrestler? Because I've watched a lot of your YouTube stuff, man, and you have the theatrics of it. Just
it's great.
Wow. So I just want to know, what was the evolution? The meticulous.
Like you would think you worked in the wrestling business. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just with your attention to detail and everything. Like you would think you were a booker, promoter, or something at least.
Buddy of mine, somebody's getting me to do, I can't really say buddy of mine, Jackson Payne.
Right.
I'm going to be his manager whenever this COVID stuff's over.
Hell yeah.
Attention. I've always been meticulous at stuff. It doesn't matter what it is. It really does not matter. Dude, I made that sign myself. You see many out of iron-ons.
It looks great, man.
It's made out of about 20. You don't see very many mistakes in it.
No, not at all.
No.
It's great. It's pretty straight. I am very, very picky at what I do. I do not. I'll tell you straight out. You know what? I was told a lot of the times by every person that I met, teachers, police, people, my friends' parents, you name it, that I was useless, worthless, and would not ever amount to anything when this was a child they were telling this to, like a 10-year-old child, dude. So my attention to detail because I didn't want to be that person. So I'm like, okay, you try your best to do stuff
right
to the best of your knowledge so you're not that way. I guess it's hard to explain.
No,
but
I get it.
Kind
I
of
get it.
understand, right?
It's a
No, I
wonderful
totally
man,
understand.
that you
Totally
that you
get it.
approach things like you had mentioned earlier, like just the small tape around the finger for Macho Man. And one of the details I like when I was watching your videos is how you have hair placement. It's like the Undertaker's hair in his face.
Yeah.
To how
The
Undertaker
swing
had
of the
his hair in his
punches.
face, but the way
That's to hide so they don't see me.
it's not even that. It's not even that. It's the way Bret Hart had his hair comparatively. It's like
and the way Bret Hart punch, everything, just your attention to everything about the wrestler's movement, the double J, the Bret Hart punches, the dude love, the everything, man. The Al Snow, the
how did it start? So was it karaoke? Was it you said?
No, I was literally told as a kid, if you're gonna do something, do it properly or don't do it at all. Right. So that is properly to me, 100%. The details probably the way that I got doing these characters. And no, it wasn't John Cena. I used to like him. He's still my favorite character of all time today, surprisingly. But I've got almost every one of his outfits. I used to wear them around. I used to carry that belt around.
Hell yeah.
A good story, but I got to tell you this story first. When I got that belt, I went down home and my uncle, I had this story in my head to tell everybody. I said, I went to a house show because nobody down there ever seen anything like this, right? And it looked real.
Yeah.
So I went down and I said, every person I was walking around, where'd you get that? I said, I went to a house show, and what they did, they told everybody, they said, there's 10 tickets underneath of your guys's, underneath the seats out there in the audience, right? So if you reach under your seat and you got the 10 tickets, you come up to the ring area. So 10 of us come up to the ring area. They took us out back. They talked to us, got the best of the bunch of us that could wrestle and got the characters. They showed us like 2-3 moves apiece. And they said, listen, I was the one they picked. And they said, you're going to end up beating John Cena for the title tonight, but he is going to immediately get it right back. You understand? You down for that? And you know what? Every person believed that damn story. Every person I come into believed that story. It was way more detailed than that because I'm good at what I do, right? It was just, oh God, man, it's crazy.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
But the costumes come into play because I wanted to start meeting them and get signatures like everybody else. So they started coming to the Comic-Con. So I went to a Comic-Con. One time I went, it was Tugboat and them there. I had like 7, 8, 9 belts, carrying them around, trying to meet all these guys. And I seen a lot of people dressed up. Didn't see one person dressed up as a wrestler.
Wow.
Yeah.
Next Comic-Con, here comes the Ultimate Warrior. And then I think it was I think the first one was the Ultimate Warrior. Then I ended up doing a Shawn Michaels. I got on the news one time. Next day I went to Comic-Con
I think I saw
again.
that clip of you on the news.
Yeah.
Yeah, kicked the news lady in the boob.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash the next day recognized me in my next costume, and he pulled me over. He said, "Hey, you, come here." I was looking around, and I was like, "Hey, yeah, you, come here." He's like, "You realize I was watching the news, and you got more time on the news than everybody else combined?" I was like, "Huh?" For one, how'd you recognize me? For two, how'd you remember me?
Right. Because you got yourself over.
Yeah, man, it was the Shawn Michaels. I was like,
that's right.
You got over. That's all it takes.
I can also say that another Comic-Con, I was dressed as Boogeyman, and a lot of the top pro wrestlers here in Ontario now, I was in the ring with them. They were doing a battle royal with Smash Wrestle. You guys know who Josh Alexander is, don't you?
Know that name.
I know that name.
He's in Impact.
He's in Impact right now with he wears the head. Yeah.
I was in the ring with him. I never done anything. They tagged me and they knew who I was. I could ate my worms. Everybody run, scattered, and fucking Josh looked at me. He was like, "Get it, okay, gone." I wasn't trained. If I was even half-ass trained back then, I just throw me the fuck out, right? But I wasn't. I wasn't gonna. I didn't know anything. I know this right now. Most fans, if they got that opportunity, they'd have been in there fighting and wrestling or trying to, not knowing what they're doing, right? And they would have got kicked out. Yeah. These guys know, and they know that I know better. But if you guys seen me at a wrestling event, you would swear to God that I am just livid, screaming, just pissed right off at these guys. And I mean, just killing them.
Yeah,
And because if I'm out in the crowd, I'm just screaming and hollering my head just nonstop.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, dude. Well, you clearly have the showmanship and charisma for it.
Yep.
You know,
100%.
You're going to be managing Jackson Payne now. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
You clearly have the personality to go out there and like get yourself over, get someone over, and just play the character.
Right.
I mean, I'm very excited to see that, man. That's amazing, dude.
Me too.
Shit, tell me so. Shit, let's stay right. Sorry, just stay right here real quick. Who is Jackson Payne? Tell us about him. When will we be able to see him? All this shit, like because I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, this is like an exclusive for us.
Can we see him now? Like, are there clips of him? Like, what's up?
There's nothing to see right now. He's being introduced to the world. I can't show him. I can't see anything. I can't just say a lot yet.
Okay.
Except he's very angry. Very, very, very angry.
Okay.
And it is not like people look at wrestlers of what they're supposed to be. So did I. And I found this person and I'm like, I wonder if I can kind of mold him into what I want.
Okay.
And I kind of did because I'm legitimately got problems up in my own head. Like I'm literally crazy. You can look me in the eye and I'll tell you straight out, I am literally crazy. There's problems in my head. And I kind of relayed to him some of the things that I'd like to see and need to be done. But he was mad at the world anyway for stuff that happened, but didn't know how to release any of it.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what?
Wrestling.
You can hurt people. You can beat them. You can do whatever you want to people in wrestling, and it's legal. That's the best I can tell you.
Wow.
There's going to be a lot of.
I get it.
A lot of sorry people.
You're not mentoring him anymore. You're keeping people safe from him. No
can't. I can't. But you know what he done to me one night? I will tell you what he done to me. I've got the video of it. He threw me through 2 plate glass windows and 2x4s.
Shit.
Threw me through.
Yeah. Wow.
Was that one of your videos? I've seen your casket match and some of your.
Wow. That is not in any of those. I am not showing that yet. It was what I was doing. I was trying to build this room for him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you read the little half of biography. I put part of his biography up, but him and some of his family were submerged upside down in a car in water. And all the toxic fumes got in his throat, leaked in his eyes and stuff. So he can't really see that well. He can see, but he uses special contacts so he can like see properly. Mm-hmm. Bright lights kill his eyes. So I was trying to put a couple big windows in here, special windows, tinted windows, right? So I could kind of try and get him used to the light. Didn't like it. Got mad. He went to grab the contractor. I jumped in front and guess who went for a ride?
Damn.
Guess who went for 2 rides?
Damn.
Off camera, I will show you the video, but
yeah,
I can't show you on video.
Oh man, absolutely.
World, get ready for Jackson Payne. I mean, this is I'm excited to see it. Like I have to see this guy. I have to see it.
To be a world of it.
Wow. That's amazing, man. That's incredible.
Like I said, I can't tell you a lot. Yeah. His bio, I'm only a quarter of done of it.
Okay.
I'm the one that's I've got it written. I'm going by what he tells me.
Yeah.
So
all right. Hey, well, thank you. Y'all heard it here first, people. Look out for Jackson Payne coming soon, baby.
And with you,
you're looking forward to it.
Really, you're gonna help aim that anger with the correct showmanship for wrestling. You know what I mean? You can help shape what that needs to be, dude. You again, your charisma just naturally screams manager, wrestler.
Just your mind, yeah. Your mind screams wrestler for sure. I mean, manager for
honestly,
sure.
I just it never stops. Wrestling is, I don't know, it's wrestling.
I love it.
That's
I hear you. No, I
don't
feel
know
you.
what to say, man.
No, man, it's an
I'm
always
watching
evolving-
wrestling right now as we're doing this interview. So no, I feel you. Like, I
And
get
no
it.
joke, somebody can say something. I've literally got a smart remark for anything anybody spits out of their mouth, and it does not matter what they say.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of the wrestlers kind of used to stay away from me at the wrestling events, because the bad guys, they'd come over and I'd put it to, and they just turn around and start laughing.
Mhm. So I've seen some. So I saw a video of you having interactions with Jim Ross and everything like this.
He's a
Who have you? Is there a wrestler in particular who you've always wanted to meet, who you didn't get a chance to meet?
warrior,
Mm.
ultimate warrior.
He
but
was
I did
gone.
make
He
it
was
on-
gone before you got the chance.
But I did make it on his DVD.
Yeah.
I made it on his DVD. The One Always Believe.
Okay.
That's cool.
Nice.
I made it on. I was also on Edge's DVD. You Think You Know Me.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
I thought it was, and I was trying to get on these things.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
Right.
trying. We were in Toronto at something called Edge Appreciation Night, is where it was.
Uh-huh.
So I said to the girlfriend, I was like, they're going to be videoing this. I knew they were going to be videoing it. So I was like, okay, let's see if we can make out some cool signs. So mine said, we'll trade girlfriend for an autograph from Edge. And hers said, that means me, with an arrow pointing down.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Made it on his video. I tried to get the guy
Nice.
beside me. He was holding the rated R belt, but you couldn't really see him.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's cool as shit.
Well, speaking of Edge, man, I see the
Warrior
rated R belt right over your
was-
shoulder right there.
Yeah.
What's that?
I see the rated R belt right over your
Mhm.
shoulder.
Yeah.
Like when Edge won the spinner belt, I can just see it right there on the bottom. It's just I keep getting distracted by belts you have, man. It's such
I
a
know,
beautiful
man. It's-
collection, dude.
Like that one in that top right corner is got my eye.
The big
That
gold.
the big Goldie, baby. That's probably my favorite belt of all time.
Yeah.
I love that
That
belt
has
so
to be
much.
the
You
heaviest
said you're a
belt.
WCW guy, right?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
right.
I love it. Love it, man.
Is
So-
that your heaviest belt?
Mine was always that one.
Oh, that's a
I
good
love
one.
that one too. That's pretty.
That's a good one. Holy
You said
shit.
you said the first one you ever got, or not the first one, but you said you got the IC title early on. Was it the traditional old school white strap one,
Yeah,
or was it the
It
new
was-
school 90s one?
Yeah. And
Ah,
it was
Attitude
the
Era,
WWF
yeah.
version.
I forgot you had the Macho Man trucks on when you stood up.
What's the guy doing wearing pink underwear, man?
That was
I was
one of my favorites.
I was going to a Comic-Con one time. It was one of the first times I wanted to dress as Macho Man. So I grew this beard, and I can't grow a beard. So I grew it for about 2.5 months. And I come to find out that the Comic-Con is like, I think it was Scooby-Doo themed.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, man. Like, what are you going to do? There's nobody in Scooby-Doo with a beard.
Right.
Uh,
So I'm like, well, what am I going to do? So I'm like, I got an idea. I'll show you the picture of it at some point in time.
Okay.
So I made this belt. I made this thing. I got a Scooby-Doo thing, and I cut the head off it. I put it on top of me. So I dressed as the Macho Man, dressed as Scooby-Doo, and I kept running around. And he's like, what are you dressed as? What's wrong with you? I'm Scooby-Doo. Can't you see what's wrong? So then I ran into a real Scooby-Doo.
Right.
So I got my buddy Steve. I was like, go tell Scooby-Doo to come over and give me a beat and take the belt and stand.
Right.
So
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
take him over. I was like, we got in an argument. I'm the real Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
So after he come over, laid the beating on me, it was like, it was a foolish looking, but the pink tights is what kind of got to me. It was when you mentioned that there was some woman there, and I don't know what I heard her say. I didn't say anything to her, but trust me, I wanted to her. I heard her say, and as she was pointing towards me, that's absolutely disgusting. Look at that. What's wrong with him? That's not right. There's something wrong there. Like,
What?
you realize you're at a Comic-Con for one.
Like,
Yeah,
get the fuck
fuck
out of
out.
here.
Come on.
Like,
Most generally, people like that.
out of here.
Yeah, people like that, when they say that and they do, like, oh, my collection, I'm a virgin, right? I said, well, thank you.
right.
But most people that have them thoughts in their head, they're the
Mhm.
ones that have the thoughts the sick thoughts of thinking that. Like,
Yep.
why do you even think stuff like that?
They're
How do you think stuff like that?
Yeah.
They're the
Like,
ones- yeah.
Jesus.
So I have a question. So with that being said, in the collectors community, I know you probably meet a lot of different collectors around the world, and you know what I mean, throughout your times. Is it a friendly community, or is it that, like, you know what I mean, just combative community? Like, you know what I mean? No, I'm going to be the best. I'm the best collector. Like, I'm the number one collector. You know what I mean? My collection's better. Like,
yeah.
is there camaraderie?
I don't know. Most people know. Most people are pretty good.
Yeah.
I personally don't. I love seeing. I don't care. I tell everybody the same thing. It doesn't matter if you got one thing or a million things.
Right.
If you enjoy your collection as much as the next person does, it doesn't matter what you got. Like, it really doesn't. I like watching everybody else's collection because they've got stuff that I don't have, and everybody looks at me and says, "You're lucky."
Right.
What's luck got to do with all this? What people don't realize is I destroyed an entire car, put 300,000, buried it. They're collecting this stuff. I was working 2 jobs at the time from 8 till 5:30. I was able to go on the computer the odd time, look for stuff. Then after that, I was doing landscaping until about 9, 10 o'clock at night. Then I'd go home and buy and sell this stuff. So I was basically putting in 12, 14 hours. On the weekends, when I wasn't working the odd time, we would drive all over. I'd normally send her. You can't do that nowadays because you can't trust people to be alone. Like, you know what I mean? It's
crazy fucking world. Yeah, crazy world.
So but that car never stopped. Like, every day from here to Toronto, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours. It's people see collecting. They don't see collecting like I showed you yesterday.
Right.
They see, oh, that looks nice. What a nice collection. Yeah. You want to see the 100 of boxes scattered all over the other parts of the basement.
Right.
You want to see these 500 drawers that I use for sorting stuff out. You want to see?
Right. And that he's not exaggerating, y'all. He showed us, like, yesterday we talked to him, and he took us around his collection. There's boxes everywhere, just of all kinds of stuff. He's real deal, man. It's impressive. It's impressive.
I have a good friend of mine who collects Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures, and he does about the same thing. He works in the community, and they trade, and they sell, and they find, and do the same type of thing you did with the belts.
Yep.
But most of his collection is in, like, boxes. Like, I swear, every time I go over there and goes, I swear to you, I have this great collection of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures. They're just in boxes in the closet over there. And it's like, I've known this guy for like 10 years now, and I've seen photos, but I've never once seen a Turtles figure in his house. I just go off his word going, yeah, man, I bet you have a great collection.
Right.
One day I'll see it.
That is actually the smartest thing to do, put it away. Because I'm telling you, when I had my old house, I had about 9 or 11 rooms, and it was full. You guys probably looked at that video or swiped through it.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah. It's incredible.
It was, but again, if I got you seen them walls of figures. Say I got 3 figures. I would literally have to move normally 2 full walls to put them 3 figures in the proper spots. As you can tell, everything was proper in the right spot, sitting. All the loose figures were all the same people in the same shelf and stuff like that. Right. It took me about 3 years, pretty much after work, whenever I could get to it, to put all that up. And I forgot some.
Of course, right?
In that video, all the loose rings that I had, I got about 30 or 40 of them, whatever I got. And they had all the accessories inside, sitting inside the rings. I forgot them on the video, but they're in pictures somewhere.
Damn.
That was awesome. And and it's a sacrifice, man. You turn your house into a museum of wrestling memorabilia for us fans, and that's your space. But it's just lovely, like, wall art to look at. You know what I mean? Like it's all the memories that get tied into it. Like I'm a comic book collector, and sometimes I just kind of let them sit there and go, you know what? I like to think about what I thought. I like to think about what I was thinking about when I read this for the first time. And it's like, you connect these memories to these things and what they mean to you. And that's what's the most important about them is each belt has a memory for you, I imagine. And it's like, hey, this wrestler, hey, this con, hey, this karaoke, hey, this character, hey, this costume. And that's really cool, man. The artistry is great.
And my man, when you're on your dying bed, what are you going to have? Some people don't have them. Well, actually, yes, they do have them. Even dementia patients have them. When you're on your dying bed, you're going to have nothing but memories.
Absolutely.
Nothing. See, that's what life's made of. It's not made of money. It's not made of stuff. Nope. I try and explain to the girlfriend all the time, but because I was stabbed and almost murdered at one point in time.
Oh, God.
Buddy, I got stories blow your mind. I was almost
we'll have to have you come back. You gotta come back, man. Keep telling these stories, man.
You're a friend of the channel, man.
Definitely.
The place is just to get going to rant and rave. It's effing wrestling.
Yeah, I was probably killed. I should have been dead, I'm guessing 4 or 5 times. And literally I was that close. I was lit on fire as a baby. I had a big roll-up door, literally missed me by 6 inches. 16-foot roll-up door. Butcher knife through my stomach, fell off 22-foot rack in car accidents. And this is, I can prove every word.
No, hey,
I got stabbed when I got stabbed.
Yeah.
Can you see the mark?
Sorta, kinda.
Sorta.
Oh,
right
Yep.
Doctor cut me open there. It went right through me. There's a little hole that I can never find here. It poked through me. It was only a tiny one.
Yeah. And people listening, he's showing like he has a scar right there on the side of his ribs, right there, on the side of his stomach where he got stabbed. For people listening and not watching, that's incredible, man. You've been through it, man. You've been through it, and you're still here, and you collected, and you know what I mean.
It's a way to work through it, man. I mean, that's a hell of a thing to take down a lot of. I know a lot of people who have dealt with a lot less,
and had made it,
less, and still kind of succumb to it, man. But you've been through it and found a healthy way to move it forward. You found like collecting memorabilia. You found the characters and the work and the detail that go into that.
Yeah,
you're a wrestling manager now, dude. I mean, that's
awesome. I'll straight up tell you, and I'm not lying. People, when I tell people wrestling saved my life, I wasn't joking. And people, some people sit there and laugh at you.
Right.
But if it wasn't collected, if I never moved out of that town, I would be in prison or dead.
Yeah.
Like I guarantee I'd be in prison or dead. There is zero question. I minimum prison.
Right.
Minimum prison. I'm still not perfect. Don't get me wrong. I still smack somebody in the mouth if they need it bad enough, but I can't do it because my next one going to prison. Right. I've done my stuff.
We all have,
perfect, but perfect. And I've got nothing to hide from anybody either. I will tell you any part, detail of my life, anybody knows. I don't care. Hopefully somebody can learn from it.
Right.
That's one of my main things. Hopefully somebody can learn from it.
That's awesome, man. So back to the collection. So of everything you've collected over all the time that you've been collecting, what is your one, or if you can't pick one, a couple of your most favorite pieces that you've ever collected?
First spinner belt. There's no question.
No question about it.
No, first
like no hesitation. That's first spinner belt.
That's what started the collection. I will never get rid of it. I'm the type of person that I'm kind of nostalgic that way. I will never get rid of that belt. Even if I sold everything, if I was living on the streets and was homeless, I still wouldn't sell that belt. I would still have it.
Okay.
I will never give anything. I will never sell anything that somebody gave me. If I don't want it anymore, I will ask the person. I will say, "Do you want it back, or can I give this away?" Because people know I give stuff away all the time, right? So it's like, I'm not ignorant like that. Because I see people doing it up, buddy. I give some guy a Hulk Hogan program. It was he collected Hulk Hogan stuff. Yeah, maybe it's okay. But anyway,
Yeah.
if he hears it, he'll know it was him. Anyway, I don't care. So gave him a Hulk Hogan program because he collected nothing but Hogan stuff. Biggest Hogan fan in the world. So I thought, I was like, okay, here, bud, you can have it. Take it.
Yeah.
So he ended up getting it signed, trying to sell it. I was like, really, dude?
What?
That's
You
fucking
get-
low.
Fuck out of here,
Sucks,
man.
man.
Yeah,
People-
you know
people
what?
suck. People
Go
suck.
ahead,
Man.
but you know what? I'm not that. He didn't immediately do it. It was a couple months or something later, I think. But even still, it was like
yeah.
That's low, man.
somebody gives you something, you don't.
You don't.
That's me. Dude. I grew up pretty much poor. Somebody gives you something, you kind of like.
Need something.
Keep that. Yeah.
Thank you.
100%.
No, like you said, I have the first
Totally
comic book
agree.
I ever bought, and I was like 10, maybe a little bit 9 or 10 when I got it. But it's in rough shape. It's held together by staples, and
Yeah.
it's torn up because a 10-year-old held it, but I still have it.
That's
I-
right.
Yeah.
And it means something to me. I'm just doing of every comic I ever have. I still have the first one I ever bought.
Nothing wrong with that.
And that's the one you'll never let go either.
Yeah,
Right.
true. Because you have that, like you said, it's a mentality. It's a sentimentality to it.
So Al,
So,
we're coming up. Sorry, a couple more questions. Sorry, Chase. Sorry.
Yeah,
Coming up on the time and whatnot. Just another question. So, is there a piece of memorabilia out there that you never were able to get your hands on that you've always wanted?
No.
Really? So you got? you've been
I
able
never
to-
really looked for anything.
Oh, okay.
I'm the type, bud. If I want something, I'm going to get it. I don't care what it is. If I want something, I am going to get it. That's another thing that I like to tell everybody. People
Mhm.
don't realize you can do anything you want. All you got to do is put your mind to it. It does not matter how difficult you may think it is. It's always in reach. Doesn't
Very true.
matter who you are, what you are, where you are. You can do anything you absolutely want.
Hell yeah.
I was homeless for a while. My parents, we had to live in my grandmother's backyard in a tent. I grew up in a 20 by 40 tar paper shack.
Mm.
I was molested as a child. I was almost murdered. I went to jail forever, dude. It was like, and I'm still here.
And
I'm
here you
like,
stand.
I am
And here you
absolutely
stand,
shocked
baby.
that I am still here and doing what I'm doing. Like opposite of what I'm kind of glad I got all that stuff out when I was a kid, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Got
Yeah.
all my shit out, like my stealing, my this, that, these, those, and
Yeah.
hopefully somebody, even one person, even if one person takes from what I've done is. I'm nobody special by any means. When you said yesterday, sir, it was like,
Oh yeah. Hey.
it is,
It's about a
Right.
respect thing, man. It's just about
No, it's
about
respect
showing
for
the,
sure.
showing the respect to everybody in this world, man. You know, it's every if you're a living being, man, you deserve respect. It's kind of my takeaway,
Sure.
my 2 cents. But let me ask you: Are you working on any costumes right
I can debate that too, but
now? True.
Until you
But,
don't deserve respect. You deserve it until you don't, until you do
Reserve.
something to not deserve respect.
there you go.
There
with
we
I
that.
think that's what he meant. That's what he
There I
meant.
am.
This,
Are you
this
working on
little
any-
fella,
Yeah.
that little fella. Never.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Are you working on any costumes currently?
Do you know what? Normally, what I've done, I usually worked on the costumes when somebody was coming to meet or something like that.
Okay.
That's normally the costumes that I would make. I've got Razor Ramon in the back of my head, so I'd love
Hell
to see
yes.
him.
That would be.
Love-
I met him before, but I
Right.
kind of
Wow.
want to look
Wow.
right at him and go, "Hey, yo,
Mm-hmm.
and man, don't you blame me for this bad accent, man. That right there is on you, Chico." And I want to flick it.
Toothpick. The fucking
I'm gonna ask
toothpick.
him again first, right?
Oh my
Yo.
god, dude.
Razor
But
Ramon.
honestly, that's what I want to say.
That's
Oh my
beautiful.
god, dude, that was great. That was
That was
perfect.
perfect, man. Perfect.
Because he did play it. That was a bad
He was
accent.
a bad man.
But it was a great character. Loved it.
Yeah, happy.
Yeah.
The bad accent was half of the fun of it, though. You just sit back,
Right,
like when he
right.
shows up on, like when he showed up on Nitro that first night of like, You don't know who I
I
am.
don't know who I am.
But you don't know why I'm here, but you know who I am. In that terrible, like,
So bad.
Scarface, got it.
Done.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
he was a pretty good guy to meet. I met him once. He was what was that? It's 3 hours away anyway. I found out like part way through the show, and we made it. We made it there. It's kind of funny for somebody like myself not to go Harry Horowitz, but hey, coming from nothing to where I've made myself.
Yeah, man.
Dude, and I literally mean with zero help. None.
Right. So yeah, I asked you yesterday, like about all you. Sorry, I cut you off. You were saying zero help and no help. I'd asked you yesterday about all your editing and everything that you do on all your videos, and that's all you, right?
Yep. I don't know much about it, but if you try anything, you can learn, right? Like anything. Right. The only one, and I mean, dude, I mean everything, literally everything. I built that ring myself. I just bought a steel cage. I'm going to build a Hell in a Cell.
What?
Oh, right now, Mike, I'm working on. Sorry, is a ring cart.
What?
WrestleMania 3 ring cart.
When they
pushed out Macho Man and Andre. Oh wow,
that's the one. That's the one, buddy.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wow. Holy shit!
Being built as we speak.
That's awesome.
Well, it's outside. It's not being built as we speak because I'm building it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's it's always cool to hear what projects are in the works, man.
That's amazing, man.
Really cool.
I never stop, man. Never stop, because if I do, then my mind starts going back to younger years of when I was molested, and that's what I was talking about earlier, right? It's
idle mind, what they say, the devil or something. The idle mind brings
the devil's played around or something like that,
right?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite costume you got though? What's your favorite one you have so far? I mean, do you have a preference? Is it to keep moving forward? Is there one you like go back to the most?
Honestly, the favorite costume is each one that I come up with, but I'd say probably I'd have to say the Macho Man because apparently I do the best at him. I know this one wasn't very good because I didn't have time.
It was great, man.
I was trying to get these things on as quick as I could.
Dude, it was awesome.
It was perfect.
I hear that on this show. Dude. That was
perfect.
amazing. And you're right, dude. It's a perfect Macho Man. I 100%. I love all of them, man. I think all the
honestly, my voice was a little bit off because I couldn't practice in between because I had to switch characters, so it was kind of off.
Shit.
And trying to talk back and forth with myself. I didn't have none of that. I was just trying to think of stuff as I was going. Right? It
was awesome, man. It was a beautiful intro for this episode of Effing Wrestling for
100%, man. And it was definitely the first time we've had characters on the show. Hopefully, Al, it won't be the last. And you mentioned yesterday. You mentioned yesterday you were thinking about doing maybe a giveaway or something.
Yeah, I never got anything else, but if you guys come up with something, what you can do. I was thinking I've got enough stuff around, buddy. I've got enough figures. Yeah. Ask somebody their 5 favorite wrestlers. Whoever you guys decide, ask them their 5 favorite wrestlers, and that's what'll come. One of those something from one of their 5 favorite wrestlers, probably a figure more than likely.
Yeah.
But you never know. But I was trying to get everything done so hard.
It's all good, man.
Oh, man.
I tell you what, whoever's listening, send an email to effingwrestling@gmail.com. Whoever email we see first or whatever, you'll win. We'll get your address and stuff, get you in contact with Al, and he'll hook it up.
First,
does that work?
This are 5 favorite wrestlers.
5 favorite wrestlers.
That's what you do. Get everybody here. If you get enough, I don't know if you're down with this. Get everybody to email you with their 5 favorite wrestlers and go do a draw.
Yep.
I'll send 2 people something. How's that?
There we go.
Sounds
there we go, man.
To us.
Al, I can't tell you how much of a pleasure it was to get to know you, get to talk to you a little bit. Hopefully it is not the last time we see you here on Effing Wrestling.
Oh, man, anytime.
You
want me back on tomorrow? I come back on tomorrow. I don't care.
You have to come back on to talk about Jackson Payne whenever he comes around and everything. Yeah. I want to know. We want to know, man. Please put on.
Maybe we do like a full character episode one time.
Right.
Just like come on as like one of the characters. just for the episode. Who
Maybe
knows?
watch
Who
a
knows
maybe
what's
watch
coming?
an old school match with a character or something with you, a little live watch along or something. You know, who knows?
Never
Pick
know.
one. Somebody, I'll get pick one. It's the best I can tell you. Pick one. I can do
Awesome.
two if they're not that bad apart. Like these ones are pretty close, right?
Yeah. Right.
You made me really want to.
If I wasn't trying to rush, it would have been a hell of a lot better. But I was trying not ways that I was trying to get it done as quick as I could.
It's very much appreciated, man.
Dude,
But how can everybody get out to see your videos, your social media, your YouTube channel? What's all the access to all your stuff?
Just Al Ruddick. That's the best I can tell you. I do this for fun, and
Easy
I love
enough.
to show people. You know what? It's
man. We'll throw the YouTube link up there for you, so people can come out and find you. Just man, it is. I was showing my buddies last night. We were hanging out just around. I was doing. Watch this. We're having this guy on our show tomorrow. It's gonna be so much fun. Check this out. No. Look at the Ultimate Warrior. He gets the grunt. Look at the Macho Man. He gets the I mean, I was just showing my buddies left and right. Going, you got to check this out.
My son is so excited to see this episode, man. He's so excited. Thank you for coming on and doing this.
Oh man, it was a real pleasure, dude.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, Al. And everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and join us next time on Effin' Wrassling.